Today, we delve into a foundational moment in American history, exploring the apprehensions that defined a nation in its formative years. The debate over the ratification of the United States Constitution in 1787 was a defining political clash. At the heart of this debate were the Anti-Federalists, voices of a wary faction concerned about a potential shift from liberty to tyranny. To truly comprehend these fears, we must first understand the context in which they arose. America was a nascent country emerging from the shadow of British colonial rule, a rule characterized by centralized power and the absence of representation, a recipe for despotism in the eyes of many. The Articles of Confederation originally sought to prevent such concentrated authority, but its weaknesses prompted the need for a new constitution. The proposed constitution promised a stronger federal government, a prospect imbued with both hope and trepidation. Anti-Federalists were primarily concerned that such centralization could lead to a loss of the individual freedoms that had been laboriously won after independence. They envisaged a scenario where this new government, distant and unaccountable, might evolve into an entity as oppressive as the monarchy they had just overthrown. One of the primary fears centered on the absence of explicit protections for individual rights, a glaring omission in the initial draft of the Constitution. Anti-Federalists worried that without a Bill of Rights, the government might overstep its bounds, trampling the personal liberties of its citizens. Without explicit declarations of freedom of speech, religion, and press, they argued, individual freedoms would be constantly at risk, subject to the whims of those in power. A second significant concern revolved around the structure of the proposed federal government, particularly the potential overreach of the executive branch. The specter of a president wielding powers reminiscent of a king was troubling. They feared that a powerful executive could become autocratic, overpowering the other branches and dominating governance. This fear was not unfounded, as history had demonstrated numerous instances where power oscillated into despotism when unchecked. Furthermore, Anti-Federalists were anxious about the dilution of state sovereignty. The Constitution proposed a stronger central authority, which they believed could overshadow state governments, making them mere administrative subdivisions rather than equals in a federal system. They feared that federal law would supplant state law, disregarding local customs and the needs of regional populations, effectively erasing the diverse tapestry of America. Adding depth to their concerns was the potential for elitism within the halls of the federal government. The Anti-Federalists argued that the system favored the wealthy and well-connected, potentially leading to policies that catered to the few at the expense of the many. The lack of direct representation and the indirect election of the Senate and presidency fueled fears that ordinary citizens would have little influence over governmental decisions, thus alienating the republic from its democratic ideals. Despite these reservations, it's crucial to recognize that the Anti-Federalists were not enemies of federalism per se. Rather, they sought a balanced system where power was carefully distributed to reflect the needs and desires of a broader populace, safeguarding against the encroachments of any imposing centralized authority. The tension between these fears and the necessity for a robust national government catalyzed one of the most dynamic discourses in American history. The Federalists and Anti-Federalists met at a crossroads of ideology. Ultimately, this clash gave birth to a compromise, the Bill of Rights. The first 10 amendments to the Constitution became the tangible assurances Anti-Federalists needed, embodying the personal freedoms they feared might be neglected. In conclusion, the Anti-Federalists' fears played a crucial role in shaping a balanced American government structure. Their concerns about centralized power, individual rights, state sovereignty, and elitism illuminated legitimate, potential pitfalls in governance. While the Constitution became the law of the land, sparking the evolution of a complex yet resilient system, the dialogues sparked by the Anti-Federalists continue to resonate. They serve as a perpetual reminder of the vigilance required to maintain a government that serves and protects its people.